Hi guys, and welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today, guys, it's going to be my September wrap-up. But as a bonus, it's also going to be my August wrap-up. Because many of the books that I read in September, I finished in like the first week of September because I was reading them in August. So otherwise it was going to be like, hey, here's the 2 books I read in September. And then I started a book in September that I haven't finished yet. So, yeah. August and September wrap up. 2 for the low, low price of 1 at $0. So, without wasting any more time,
Let's get down to business.
let's talk about the books that I read in August and September. I read a total of 7 books. I'm trying to do it without looking at my notes. Yeah, 7 books. 2 3-star books. Was I doing the number or the star number? So, the 2 3-star books, 1 4-star book, and 4 5-star books. The 5-star strumpet is back. Let's get into the books that I read, and I'm going to start with the 3-star books, and they're both on this Kindle. It is The 3-Body Problem and The Dark Forest by Cixin Liu, and it's the what is this trilogy called? The 3-Body Trilogy? Let's hope it's called the 3-Body Trilogy. Anyway, it's books 1 and 2, and I was not going to read these, and this is really what has like set my reading schedule ablaze, and the reason I haven't like been able to finish the things that I need to finish, and then I'm behind. My buddy Finn came into town in July, and he always comes in July. He comes for a week in July every year, and he's always got some show he's been watching. And this year it was the 3-Body Problem show, and he's like, dude, you got to watch it. And so we watched the first episode, and I was like, okay, like it was interesting enough to where I wanted to know what was going on, but knowing that it was a book and the book that I owned, I didn't want to keep watching the show. So we watched the first episode, and I'm like, Finn, because he always comes twice. He comes in July, and then he comes in August. So I was like, Finn, I'm going to read this book before we watch the rest of the show because I'm interested in doing it, and I'm glad I did because the book is better than the show. Like the show is I don't love the show like really at all. First of all, it changes the main character from one guy into like 5 people. I guess 3 people really, and I don't understand why it got moved from China to London, and why there's the main character's 3 separate people. Whatever. And also it had some stupid like romance subplot that doesn't need to be there. That is a worse story than the one that is from the book. Regardless, the fault of the book of the show is twofold, ladies and gentlemen. One, the actress that plays Augie is so bad, guys. She is so bad. She has no acting range at all. Like, she doesn't do anything. She's mildly inconvenienced by every single thing that occurs, and she's just grouchy if she's not inconvenienced. Like, that's her only expression. That's it. And her dumb bangs. Augie sucks. Jin is awesome, but Augie sucks. Augie sucks. And I'm even fine with Samwell Tarly, who doesn't need to be there, but he's okay. Jin's awesome. Samwell Tarly's okay. Augie sucks. Didn't need her. Terrible. But really, the greatest sin of the show is that it minimizes the game portion. The game portion and how they're going to solve the game. First of all, I went into this not realizing, I didn't realize that the 3-Body Problem is an actual, I guess I did, but I didn't realize that it was the same problem dealt with in this book. So, the first part of the game is trying to figure out that there is a 3-body problem. And then the trial and error of the game repeatedly was really cool in the book and one of my favorite parts. And then they truncated all that. So, and then, so Finn came back and we watched it realizing only the first 5 episodes deal with the first book. So there's 3 episodes left and I'm like, well, you gotta let me watch read book 2. And so I read book 2 and it was also good. I think the moment that everyone thinks is really amazing in book 2 is cool, but I don't know if I just expected it or I had just read Mercy of Gods, which has a similar like vibe, even though the same thing doesn't happen. It just was like a similar vibe. So I kept waiting for like the thing that was going to blow my mind to come, and it just didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. There's just a whole lot of talking about crap that I don't care about in these books. And also, I don't care about any of the characters, but I like their blank cardboardness better than I like Augie. So, the Dark Forest I think I like Dark Forest better as a book, but I like the first one because of all the video game three body problem stuff. That is what I liked about that book. So I think they're about even. I gave them both 3 stars. I will read Death's End. I'm assuming that has to do like I like the wall facer and wall breaker stuff from Dark Forest. But I haven't seen anything about the guy with cancer in the TV show, so I'm assuming that's Death's End stuff. I don't know. Everyone says it's weird, so we'll see. But I will read that. But 3 stars for these. They were fine. They were fine. I mean, I think the ideas in them, I think it was cool more than enjoyable. So that's where I stand with that. My 4-star read of the month was Boosh, Voice of War by Zach Argyle. I've had this book for a hot minute. Zach sent this to me several years ago, and I just haven't had a chance to read it. But this was my patron pick for the month, and I finally read a patron pick. Oh my gosh, I finally actually read one, and I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed this book a lot, especially toward the end. It's Zach reads Sanderson, and so we're all inspired by the authors that we like, and so yeah, it does wear its influences on its sleeve, even up to the magic system. But I really enjoy the characters. I enjoy 2 of the characters. There's a character that's introduced about midway that ended up being my favorite. In fact, the whole area that he inhabits in the book is, I feel like, more living and breathing and kind of fleshed out. Like, I love the like scorpion race things that they do, and I also like the when everybody's super, no one will be kind of thing that runs through it. That's not a spoiler. Get in my face. You have no idea what that's even in reference to. One of the characters is terrible. I hate her, and it's because I don't like the young character that's just like, I don't know why I can't just do what I want. Why are there rules? I hate rules. No, rules should not exist. I should just be able to do anything I want whenever I want. I know better than everybody. As a teacher, that fills me with rage. I've actually never liked that. I didn't like Tigger when I was young, because I don't know why he kept destroying Rabbit's crap. Like, I liked Pooh. Like, Pooh drove Rabbit crazy. But Tigger just, like, destroyed Rabbit's stuff. And then he's like, no, stop. Like, he has to work hard to plant that garden, jerk. So, and then the main character, Chris, I like a lot. I like his protectiveness of his family. I like his sense of right and wrong. And I thought the action sequences, I think that Zach writes those really well without an over-specific over-reliance on what the magic is doing. So it's not, thank goodness, he does not remind us every single time that you drop the coin to bounce off it, like in friggin' Mistborn or whatever. I mean, it does use the magic terms, but not every single time. My one issue with the book is the fact that it's like pushing and pulling, like with the threads or whatever, but to separate it from like the words pushing and pulling, he has italicized them. And when I see italicized, like it's to denote that's the magic action. But when I see italicized words, I emphasize them in my head. So every time I read it as he pushed and he pulled, and I know I'm not supposed to, and it was a choice. Like, you could not do that and have people be confused and not realize they're using their magic, or you could have them italicized. I guess you could have capitalized it, but I don't know if that would have been annoying too. It's whatever. It was a choice, but it just distracted me every time. Like, pushed, pull. Note that I got the action wrong with whatever that was. But I recommend it, especially since I've heard the second book just improves on every aspect of the first book. I'm super excited to be able to check that out because it ends. I'm curious to see where it ends. And if some characters develop the way I think that they're heading to develop, that'll be very, very interesting. So yeah, 4 stars for Voice of War by Zach Argyle. So of the first 5-star books, I reread in August and September both Books 2 and 3, Enemy of God and Excalibur of the Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell, and I listened to both of them, just like I listened to them the first time I read them, because I think these books are absolutely made to be listened to. Jonathan Keeble is just a tremendous audiobook narrator. He is the one that got me in to listening to audiobooks, because I had never listened to an audiobook that I enjoyed or thought I could pay attention to, and Jonathan Keeble was just so good. Just the emotion in his voice and just the way he tells the story is, I think, absolutely elevates Cornwell's tale, and it's so good. Like, friggin' Enemy of God is tremendous. Like, all of the stuff I remembered from Warlord Chronicles, all of the best things happen in friggin' Enemy of God. And Excalibur is fantastic too. I think there's too much magic in Excalibur, and I don't love that, but they're both excellent. I saw someone on Twitter saying, "Hey, my hot take is that I think the Warlord Chronicles is the worst of all of the Arthur retellings."
Quiet, you trash!
I mean, you're not right. No, that's not true. It's so good. It's so good. I mean, I guess you could think that if you're like super into Arthur retellings, in which case you're boring. Like, Arthur retellings suck. They generally suck. That's why if you don't like Arthur retellings, please listen to the Warlord Chronicles, and don't. I suggest listening to it. Like, listen to the Warlord Chronicles. Anyway, they're absolutely tremendous. 5 stars both. Boosh, boosh. Derval's wonderful. Merlin is wonderful. Arthur is such a complexly flawed human being who just enrages you. It's just like, Arthur, you literally could stop all of this if you just stop being a putz. Just stop. But so good. My other 5 star is it's weird to rate nonfiction books, but it's because it's at school, so I can't show you it. It's The Sacred Band by James Rome. James Rome is quickly becoming one of my favorite historians, because the way he writes is so narratively rich. Like, it is informative, but also reads like you're reading a story, as opposed to really dense, dry academic work. And it says it's about the Sacred Band, which is, if you don't know, the Sacred Band is an elite military unit in ancient Thebes that was 150 pairs of male lovers, and it was formed because they thought they would fight better together, because they didn't want to, embarrass themselves in front of their boyfriends. And it worked. It was an absolute elite unit, but it's not really about the Sacred Band. It's really about Thebes, and and the reason I enjoy this book a lot is because the Peloponnesian War is such a huge deal, and then Alexander the Great is such a massive deal, but sandwiched in there is the Corinthian War, the Spartan-Theban War, and the rise of Philip of Macedon. And I think all of that gets really overlooked. And especially with the Corinthian War and the Spartan-Theban War, this is a really good resource. He draws on, Diodorus and Xenophon, and just, from the sources, tells a really narratively rich tale. And I read it to kind of add stuff to my slides at work, because I began this year in the Corinthian War and the Spartan-Theban War, and it really helped me add some really cool narrative bits into my lectures that I didn't have in there previously. So really good. If you're interested in Greek history, it's a fascinating period. It's got the titans of Agesilaus II, and then Epaminondas and Pelopidas, who transformed warfare forever and broke the power of the Spartans. Really good stuff. As for what I've been reading and watching, it's been so long since I've done one of these. Playing and watching. I've played a bunch of games and watched a bunch of stuff. Currently, I'm in the middle of Yakuza 0, and ZZZ, and I guess Metaphor Ray Fantasio. By the time this comes out, I'll be playing that. I played Persona Reload, the episode Aegis, which was aggressively mediocre and certainly not worth the $35 for it. It's just nothing but Tartarus going down, and I just didn't care enough. Played it before back when it first came out, but whatever. Anyway, and watching stuff, I usually put stuff on in the background that I can watch while I'm playing games, and currently that is reruns like Friends, and I'm on season 8, and I'm not really happy that I'm on season 8, because I don't really enjoy the show past season 7, really, but it is what it is. And so for my final 5-star book, we have, hold on, boosh, A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. And this book was another one like Augustus by John Williams that is kind of tailor-made, written for me. It's about a guy who has lost his wife and is just a grouch. And he was a grouch before he lost his wife, but losing his wife didn't help. And he is known as the guy everyone avoids in the neighborhood. And it is just a phenomenal story about looking past the outside and how we handle grief and loneliness and the importance of having community and people in your life, and that when what you are living for is gone, rather than feeling hopeless, there are other things that you can live for. And it is just, I mean, I teared up more than once reading this. My wife did a whole series of vlogs that I'll link here while I was gone. Having read this book, it reminds me, the relationship between him and his wife reminds me a lot of some things that Christina and I have gone through. And it's just a tremendous book. And Bachman, like John Williams, knows exactly how to just phrase things to make it incredibly powerful without, I mean, without explicitly laying stuff out. He talks about the aftermath of things, and it's almost worse than having seen the thing itself. So, absolutely tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I did a review of this. I haven't done a book review in ages, so I'll get this out at some point so you can check out my review and what I thought about it. So, yeah. I can't believe I friggin' filmed a wrap-up. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So, what was your favorite, what's the favorite thing you've read in the last couple months? Let me know down there in the comments. And as always, information about my Patreon and Discord is down in the description. And I'll see you next time, guys.